This has been a great year with your support for the Public Services Department. We've had a major move of OEM over to our department. We picked up county safety, and we also picked up ADA, so we picked up additional jobs throughout the year. I obviously didn't have enough to do, so you had to give me a little bit more work. I understand that. But one of the things I want to talk about is we went through this year, and as we are speaking now, we're moving 300 tons of squeegee to be prepared for the winter. Our guys have been on spot, on time, and as Commissioner Glenn will know, with the drifts, the many phone calls that we got, we certainly jumped on those right away. I couldn't be prouder to be part of a crew like these guys, and I'm grateful to be part of their team. Our engineers have worked diligently over time over the recovery with the flooding, the washed out bridges, and those of you who managed to get on the workshop on wheels got to see the road repair that our guys did, which I thought was absolutely phenomenal. And they're still working on recovery. It's an ongoing thing that I think is going to be around for a long time. Our contracting folks kept up with all the contracts with only one contested contract, and that would be the racetrack, of course, but I think they've got a good handle on that too. So I'm very grateful for the work that they put into what's going on. Our ADA coordinator has done some phenomenal things. I think in some cases have led the county or led the state, taking the lead on ADA coordination and ADA compliance, and that's been a very strong program, and that has worked out very well. We'll have a work session on safety for the county sometime early in the year, and we'll have that going. We'll bring that to you for a safety program, safety inspections, to make sure our employees are well taken care of. The other thing I'd like to bring up is that OEM has been activated twice this year. Once for the incident after Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, where they provided warming shelters. And they also provided toilet facilities with the little MOCOM. So they were a big support of that. And then the fire out east. And that was the first time that our mechanized wildland crew, our heavy equipment wildland crew, was actually deployed, was actually requested. And that was, we got a lot of laudatory remarks or comments from the fire chief thanking for the great support that we provided during that fire. So that worked out real well. And our crews, our mechanized wildland crews, are going to advanced training in January and February so they can cut line a lot faster than we've done it in the past, because we do have the equipment and we do have the capability, something that we didn't have before. The new trucks have obviously made a difference in our ability to support the citizens of the county, and thanks for your support on that. And we'll continue to buy those trucks and make those things happen. But once again, I want to talk a little bit about facilities and security. Security is obviously an issue, and those guys are working hard to improve the security across the county, as we've discussed. And facilities. You know, they finished a clinic in CSC. They worked in close cooperation with the sheriff to get the kitchen and the roof done. They've done, I think, just some phenomenal things. And so I'm grateful for their work. And I'm also grateful that it didn't snow over the Christmas holiday, because it gave our guys a break. They actually got to stay home rather than go out there and plow.
It's a good thing, but I am going to say bah humbug.
I'm just glad they didn't have to go.
For those of us who love a white Christmas.
We'll get flurries tonight, I think, and that's probably pretty much it. Probably not much use for plows, but other than that, I just want to tell you how proud I am of the folks of the Public Services Department, how grateful I am for your support throughout the year, and I'm looking forward to 2016 and doing greater things. So thank you. Any questions that I can answer?
I just have a couple of comments. The old saying, if you want something done, ask a busy person. So apparently, Jim, you're the busy person. When I think about all the things, and I might miss something here, that Public Services does with regard to Office of Emergency Management, the ambulance contract, and the licensing for ambulances, hazmat, Public Works, as we think of it as traditionally the transportation piece, fleet, the American Disabilities Act oversight, as you mentioned, security and facilities. You know, when you look at the ADA, and I know we've made great efforts and gotten some very nice comments back from the Independence Center and others on the strides that we've made and worked towards in getting our facilities up to speed and up to date on the ADA requirements. I have a note here that we've made over 400 curb and ramp replacements, or over 1,700 ramp replacements with the PPRTA, the Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority, but also additional curb and gutter and those pedestrian ramps. And it would be great if you could have your new ADA coordinator, or our coordinator, come and give us a report on how we're doing with that. Because, I think in terms of, I know when our parents get older and you realize how difficult it is to get them from point A to point B when they're not as ambulatory as they once were, then you really see how difficult it is for folks with disabilities to get in and out of buildings and to get into their, to be able to get out into their neighborhoods and cross the street, something simple that we tend to take for granted. So that would be very helpful if you could do that for us.
We can absolutely do that, no problem, Commissioner.
And thank you very much for all the work that you've done. And I know we had some great pictures, I guess it was last week or the week before, on some of the road issues that we've dealt with in terms of big washouts of roads. And I know your office is keeping very busy with that. And when there is snow, and snow removal becomes a big deal, people depend on it, but we also depend on it for our emergency workers, our police, fire, our sheriff's office, and emergency vehicles and ambulances. So thank you for keeping those roads open. I think sometimes people forget it's not just about being able to be on transportation and for me to get from home to work. It's important for emergency vehicles as well to be able to get to people in need.
Two final comments. One is every year we pick a family that could use some help for Christmas. And this year we picked a family that had 9 children. And we raised over $1,400 and were able to provide that family with just a wonderful Christmas. And the county administrator, Mr. Yankowski, was there, and that was a blast, wasn't it, to watch those kids? They went nuts. And finally, January 9th is a deep freeze exercise or a winter blizzard exercise. I hope that you can participate. That's a very important day. That's the day I enlisted in the United States Air Force, January 9th. So I think it's fitting to have a deep freeze blizzard exercise on that day. So I hope you can participate.